Hey there everyone. So this time around I'll be reviewing two classics. The first one being the classic works of Rudyard Kipling, and the second one being the complete illustrated works of Oscar Wilde. And these are very nice editions, I think, because they're very quite in fact affordable as compared to most other illustrated editions that you get on the market. They usually retail for around 500 to 800 on Amazon, and you can get them pretty cheaper on the second-hand markets. I got these from second-hand markets, I think, for around 150 to 200 a piece. So, and even though it does not say illustrated, this is, for example, an illustrated. This one clearly says, the Oscar Wilde one says completely illustrated works of Oscar Wilde. But although this doesn't say illustrated, it's an illustrated edition, so I think you benefit from the best of both worlds. Although this is not the complete works of Rudyard Kipling, but they cover quite a large variety of the popular works, so I think you are more or less covered. So let's start with the blurb at the back. Hopefully it's focusing. Hopefully, yeah. So I'll give you that. I'll link these books in the description section so that you can look through them directly on Amazon. But yeah, let's open it up. I'll show you without the dust jacket. So this is green, representing Rudyard Kipling's work. So it says the same thing on the spine, and then the same dark green on the back as well. I'll give you the blurb. Okay, it's not able to focus very well, I think. So hopefully you can pause that and read that blurb if you want. So I'll give you the content section before that. This is the content section. Before this book, I did not even know that there were so many of Rudyard Kipling's big stories. So for example, Justo Stories, Talk of Book Sale, and then Kim. Kim is a fairly renowned work, but not as renowned as Jungle Book. And there is a second Jungle Book which most people don't know. I knew it. I came to know of it a few years back, but yeah, before that even I did not know. So let's get on the illustrations. Now see, they're fairly nicely done illustrations. I think they stand out very well, considering the fact that other hardbound editions like Barnes and Noble leatherbounds do not contain any illustrations for most of their books at all. They do have gilded pages and such, but they're not exactly illustrations. They have side edges and such, but no illustrations. The page quality of these books are quite well. I mean, they do slightly bleed through if you pay attention there. For example, these slightly bleed through, but I don't think there's much of a problem here. The page quality is fairly thick. They have pretty good stock, and for the price of like a few hundred rupees, I think they do very well. Especially on the second-hand market, you get them for a few hundred rupees. So, okay, where are the other illustrations? There should be other illustrations. Okay. So, Just So Stories here. I have not read all of the stories. I just refreshed my memory with Jungle Book, so I did not know, but apparently there are not many illustrations after Jungle Book or Just So Stories. Yeah, not many illustrations. This is, I think, because Kipling's other works are not as famous as Jungle Book, so there might not be illustrations for them done by prominent artists, so they could not include those. But the ones, so Jungle Book is very famous, they have a lot of illustrations. Just So Stories apparently has quite a few illustrations as well. But apart from that, apparently after Just So Stories there are not many illustrations throughout the book, which, if you think logically, is not their fault. But yeah, not too many illustrations. But for the price, I would say this is totally worth getting. On to Oscar Wilde, complete illustrated works of Oscar Wilde. So Oscar Wilde is very famous for his so-called scandalous stories at the turn of the century, last century in fact. So he's very well known, and apart from this edition I have not seen illustrated works of Oscar Wilde basically. So I did not know that Oscar Wilde had illustrated editions. So the first story is, of course, The Picture of Dorian Gray, and then there are Happy Prince and Other Tales and Lord Arthur Savile. So I'll give you the full content as well here. It has poems as well. And then it lists the illustrations and who they were done by. So let's get on. So for example, there's this illustration. Not many illustrations, I would admit, but Oscar Wilde is, well, his works are not frivolous like, for example, Rudyard Kipling's works. Rudyard Kipling's works are, I wouldn't say frivolous, but they are known for their children's works, and children's works usually have illustrations accompanying them. But Oscar Wilde, on the other hand, was a very serious writer. He wrote on very serious topics, and his illustrations, well, are mirrored that. So in a sense, you cannot have too many illustrations, in my opinion, for Oscar Wilde, and that is reflected throughout the book. So, A Woman of No Importance, this story, for example. And then you have the poems. Again, the page quality is not too bad, but not exactly thick stock. It doesn't, I think it doesn't really show the bleeding effect like the Rudyard Kipling book, but it does have slight bleeding as well. So you have an illustration here in the poem section. So yeah, there you have it. Complete illustrated works of Oscar Wilde. At the back, also available in the series, you get the different books available in the series, all of them being illustrated editions, so you can check them out if you want. I got only 2 of these books in this series. And as always, if you have any comments, anything to share, any questions, feel free to comment in the comment section below. And yeah, happy reading.